Let's move on to our third segment this week. It's still football, but Cedric, we got to talk about the NFL because we're really hitting the stretch run of the NFL regular season. Playoff hopes and dreams are being realized or dashed, and a couple teams that you keep track of pretty closely, the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans, they've got, I don't know if we want to term a must win, but it feels that way this weekend, doesn't it?
Not for the Cowboys. They could probably lose the rest of their games and still win the division.
Crazy.
How bad is the NFC East?
True.
It's just a horrible, horrible league. And it's a horrible division. And when you look at it, whoever wins that division, Jen, is probably going to host a 12-win team in the wild card weekend. If it's Dallas, it's going to you could get Green Bay or Seattle or San Francisco or Minnesota. One of those teams is going to be at Jerry World, and one of those teams is going to walk out of Jerry World with a win. That's just what's going to happen. They play the Rams on Sunday. I'll be there chronicling the further demise of the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a little bit more crucial for them, a little less crucial for them than it is for the Houston Texans, who will be in Nashville to play the hottest team in the league, the Tennessee Titans, behind aforementioned Derrick Henry, who right now, Jen, is the best running back in all of football. He's running for 135 a week and 2 touchdowns. He is a grown man with that ball, 6'2", 250, and he's running with reckless abandon. So I think that the Titans having to play the Texans twice in the next 3 weeks to end the season, that's going to pretty much decide, in my mind, the AFC South. But when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, they may 7-9 could actually get in to the playoffs, and it's just a horrible division, and it's the worst division in the league.
Yeah.
Jason Garrett, I think, is coaching in his last days. They may make the playoffs. They may win that division. They won't be around long, and Jerry Jones is going to have to pull the trigger. I think it's past time for him to make a coaching change at the top. Jason Garrett's got to go.
Yeah, and it's wild to think they could be a playoff team hosting and looking for a new coach within, a week's time. But that's how it could go down in Dallas. I think that's a realistic scenario because it does feel like, if you look right now at the way things are projected out, it looks like it would be Seattle coming in to play the Cowboys. Wow. I just cannot see Seattle coming to Dallas and not leaving with a victory. Russell Wilson playing fantastic. He'd likely be the MVP if Lamar Jackson wasn't being Lamar Jackson this year, Cedric.
That's true.
So fantastic play out of Russell Wilson. The Seahawks always seem to have a defense that's really tough to handle. So, do you see Dak Prescott? Do you see Ezekiel Elliott? Those guys being able to match the Seahawks offense, it just feels unlikely. So, I don't know. The thing about Dallas is I don't really know that they can play themselves in or out of a different scenario, Cedric. Really, it's more about the other guys. And so can they get themselves feeling good enough about where they are to potentially make that a game? I don't know. You mentioned the Rams are in this weekend. Does it set up enough for them to get some momentum building to feel better about themselves? I don't even know if that's possible.
I think it might be, because the one thing that we can hang our hats on, they have talent.
They do.
They start 11 Pro Bowlers, Jen. That's half the starting lineup.
It's amazing.
Is Pro Bowlers. And so for me, if they could get out of their own way, I think of the teams that are going to come into Dallas. You said Seattle lines up as the projection right now.
Yeah.
Seattle, I think the Rams are desperate. The Rams have to win to stay alive. But Seattle, San Francisco, Minnesota, Green Bay, of those teams, I think they probably match up better with Seattle because Seattle is banged up and Seattle is a little weak on the back end with Earl Thomas having departed. So maybe they match up better, but in a big game situation, Russell Wilson, a proven winner, it'd be hard to bet against Seattle. I don't care where they play, but I think Dallas has the talent. But the problem is, Jen, the Cowboys just don't know how to get out of their own way. Yeah. And if you saw them against the Chicago Bears, they can lose to anybody.
Yeah.
And if they can lose to the Chicago Bears, I know they can lose to the Seattle Seahawks.
There's zero doubt about that. Lastly, as we talk about the Texans, if you look at the standings right now, they would be a 4 seed in the AFC wild card. They would host Buffalo. As I think about the Texans, but I also look at, these teams that are in right now. You've got obviously some teams that have become playoff regulars, whether it's the Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, Saints, Green Bay. But you've also got some teams, Cedric, that I'm excited about. I mean, the Texans are among them, but the Bills, the 49ers, if the playoffs started today, they would get a first-round bye. They have gone from afterthought. I literally would forget about the 49ers from time to time the last couple of years. Now they've got a fantastic team, would be a first-round bye. I think this is going to be a really, really fun NFL playoffs.
I do too, and the Buffalo Bills are intriguing. They just have a wonderful, wonderful way of doing business. They don't have a whole lot of money thrown around to these big name veterans. They're getting it done with a low payroll in a small market. So they're a team you pull for. I think the Patriots are done. I know every year we try to say it and it's not true. I don't know that they can navigate Baltimore or Kansas City. I don't know that they can beat either one of those teams. Tom Brady doesn't have enough talent around him. Usually he would do more with less, but Tom Brady himself is in decline. We've seen it. He's been ranking near the bottom over the last 6 weeks in completion percentage. So as the weather gets worse, it's going to get harder to throw that football. So I think we're looking at a Super Bowl where the AFC team is going to be either Baltimore or Kansas City. I think they're on a collision course for the AFC title. And then NFC, don't overlook the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Drew Brees has fresh legs. He's only been back for 3 weeks. They're going to be a tough out at the house. I think that 49er New Orleans game last weekend, 46-45, was epic. And I hope to see them play for an NFC championship. I don't think the Rams have enough juice. I think Dallas is going to be gone, or Dallas or Philly will be gone in a poof. Green Bay, I don't know, is good enough. The Minnesota Vikings, definitely a dark horse to make it to the Super Bowl. Good defense. Kirk Cousins playing great, and they have arguably the best running back in football in Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, just some intriguing storylines. And Cedric, you mentioned the Patriots on the decline. Nobody's feeling sorry for Bill Belichick. Another potential videotaping an opponent scandal that's percolating right now. Their Patriots are saying they didn't know that it was whatever. Cedric, they just, even though they continue to be one of the best teams in the NFL, you talk about the Dallas Cowboys not being able to get out of their own way on the field. It's sort of similar with the Patriots. It's always something off the field with the Patriots. And now that they're struggling on the field, nobody's crying tears for the New England Patriots right now.
I wish they'd go away. I'm tired of them winning. I could say we're columnists. We have opinions. We can say this.
It's true.
I just don't want them in the Super Bowl again. I wish the Falcons had beaten them in Houston. They ruined a good column by coming back in the second half. I was already ready to hit the button and had to start over. So it's all about me, Jen. Exactly. So I hope that Kansas City or Baltimore breaks through this year, and we can stop talking about the Patriots. Let somebody else win.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's definitely trending that way. We'll have a lot more to talk about as the NFL continues to barrel towards the playoffs and those playoff seedings get figured out. Next week, be sure to join us. We're going to talk about the year in review. We'll have a lot to discuss. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you then.